So in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make your basic hex. If you're in the business of making hex terrain, you're going to be needing thousands of these. So you're going to get plenty of practice. But I'll show you how I cut mine. First thing you're going to need your hex templates. Depending on the reward level you've got, you may have holes in the middle of these, so they can be used for other purposes too. But either way, they perform the same function for making basic hexes. You're going to need a couple of bolts, you're going to need your wing nuts, hot wire cutter. Now, the first thing you've got to do anytime you start making hexes, or any sort of polystyrene cutting, is make sure that your wire is nice and taut. So if you've got a cutter like mine, a trick you can do rather than having to keep rethreading and tying it or anything like that, is you can rotate these clamps around so that the distance between the points, the anchor points, gets wider apart and therefore it's tauter, if you know what I mean. So it's nice and taut now. So get some polystyrene sheet. So there's sort of two ways of doing this. You can either cut yourself a rectangle of polystyrene first, and then you can cut it down to depth with your depth cutter, and then turn that into a hexagon afterwards. Or what I prefer to do is cut out the hexagon first, and then take it down to the depth that you wanted afterwards. And the main reason I do that is just to get the most out of my material. So by doing it this way, it means when I'm cutting my next row of hexes, I can put it here rather than up there. So you're just getting, it's just less wastage. So that's my reason. But do as you like. So you can take a bolt. I always make sure I've got a finger on the other side of where the bolt's going to come out to receive the pressure of it. So I don't want it to explosively push through. I want to be controlling how much the polystyrene plug, how big it is. So it should come through gently. And I'll take your other template, pop it on the side. Tighten up our wing nuts. Sorry. Now I'll just visually check. You probably don't see this very well, but just check the look about right before I tighten them. So when I tighten them, I want to make sure that the wing nut is pointing this way. If it's turned off to the side, there's always the risk that the hot wire is going to catch onto the wing as it goes past, which is going to cause problems. So on some of the finer pieces, it's really important you do this. On these ones, it's just sort of good practice. So what I'm doing there is because these are flathead bolts, you can just put your thumbnail in there to rotate those, once you keep these pointing the right way. It's easy and intuitive enough when you're doing it. Right, so I'll take off my first corner. And what I think I'll do is I'll roughly cut out the rest. Just to make it a bit less unwieldy. Okay, so what you want is to get one edge true first. So now we're going to check whether this is sitting right or not. Pushing down both sides, making sure they're level and check to see whether I need to adjust this at all. So I'm going to make a small adjustment and cut again. So it's not great when you have to do a piece quite as thin as that, because it's kind of this papery stuff that can be hard to remove. It just peels off. It just shows how effective this wire cutter is, how thin a piece of polystyrene you can pull off. You can remove it if you need to, but it does make it fiddly to remove. Let's just melt it off instead. Right. Okay, good. Then we'll do another side. So notice I always start from the middle and push or pull to the edge. You never want to start at the edge and come in, because there's a good chance that you're going to sort of hook the corner and gouge a piece out. If you start in the middle, you know you're not going to be able to, even if you go at the right angle, it's still going to be okay. Check again on this side. So all I do is just check on two sides, because if this is right and this is right, then the rest of them must be right. There's no sort of, just mathematically, there's no possibility the other one's been wrong if both of these are right. Then I'll go around and do the rest. So just for speed, I normally start in the middle, pull one way, go back to the middle and push. Whether you push or pull doesn't seem to make any real difference to the quality of the cut. It's all about where you start and where you finish, and that the angle is right. You want to make sure you don't go at an angle like this, because when you come to the edge, you're going to drop off one side before the other, and that's going to gouge a corner out. You have less neat corners, so you want to keep it as parallel as you can. Sorry, as perpendicular as you can to the tools at right angles. That's it. And so before I take the template off, I'd like to have one last check. I haven't missed any bits, but that looks good, so I'll take it off. There's our hex with obviously our holes in it. So we've got our two polystyrene plugs from earlier. So we want to put those back in where they came from, ideally. And normally, well, with this kind of polystyrene, you can just push them back in with no glue needed. If you are using a very smooth, like extruded polystyrene, like loft insulation, like pink foam, something like that, you may find you want just a little bit of PVA glue so that it holds. But that's it. Done. So that's how you make your basic hexes.